Hi, this is Amethyst Tarot. Welcome to another pick a card reading. Today's reading is going to be all about our ancestors and what messages they have for us. Today is the first day of October and also a full moon in Aries, and I have all of this energy and I wanted to put it somewhere. And I woke up this morning and I have been just thinking, figuring out more about my ancestors, and I wanted you all to do the same for yourselves. So today's reading is going to be all about them, and I have a couple guided questions that I will be asking as the reading goes along. I have three different options for you. The first is this amethyst. The second option is this clear crystal quartz. And the third option is the star mica. Just pick any of those three and I'll see you in your reading. Hi group number one, if you picked the amethyst, this reading is for you. Today we're going to be talking about your ancestors. I'll be using this My Heart Tarot for the tarot portion of this reading, and I might bring out an oracle deck. I might not. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to get right into it. The first question we have for today is, who is this ancestor with us? I will be live shuffling, so there's going to be a lot of noise and a lot of awkward silences, just to let you know, but I love awkward silences, don't you? Let's figure out who's this ancestor with us today. Who is group number one's ancestor with us today? Oh. Ace of Pentacles in reverse. This ancestor might have been someone who was really short. Eight of Wands. Ace of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, but had a lot of energy. This person was kind of somebody to reckon with. They were always kind of on the go. Just always things were happening for them. Even if there wasn't materially, they were always in some shit, basically. They were always dealing with something. They were always in some, not trouble per se, but they were always in some situation. With the Four of Cups in reverse, life was never boring for them. They were always taking advantage of everything. They were always having fun and never looking at things with an eye eye. Three of Wands in reverse. There's a lot of reversals. Maybe this is an ancestor you haven't connected with yet, but this ancestor wasn't somebody who made it very far from home. Maybe they stayed where they lived for most of their lives. They were very prone to, even though they just got into all the different situations and whatnot, they didn't veer very far from their comfort zone. Page of Cups, exactly. They were somebody who was very sweet, naive, and just kind of a free spirit. And in the sense of everything in life was perfect for them, and it worked out the ways that they wanted it to be, and they were content with how things went in life for them. And they were never King of Cups, and they transformed throughout their lives. They transformed into this person who was just magnificent and so much in touch with their emotions. They were a caring person in their community. They took care of others as well as themselves. They might have been a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, or had that in their chart, as well as some fire and some earth. But yeah, your ancestor, most like, it's coming up as a male. I'm getting a lot of male imagery. But this ancestor was just so fun to be around. People just really liked their energy. It wasn't like life was ever hierophant in reverse. They never followed the rules. Page of Wands. They never were somebody who you went to sort of get the advice you didn't want. They were somebody who you went to say the things that exactly you wanted to hear, to be like, YOLO, do the thing, I know you want to do it, and you exactly followed their commands, because they didn't care about society's structure. They didn't care about what society had to say about them, about the way you're living and anything like that. They just were free-spirited and went with their own flow. Can we get more about this ancestor? Eight of Swords. Can I get a clarification for Eight of Swords? Five of Swords. Okay, so this ancestor was somebody who may have gotten in a bit of tough times because of the way that they communicated or spoke to other people. Maybe it was so that they were quick-tongued and just said whatever it was that they wanted, and that got them in situations where they were like, damn, I shouldn't have said that, I shouldn't have done this, and they're kind of in a cycle where, because they were so spontaneous almost. They at times regretted what they did. And this might resonate with you as well. But yeah, this is this ancestor who's with us. The next question we have is, what is the legacy that they handed down for you? Let's see what sort of legacy this person, this ancestor who is with us today, left for you. The Chariot, the Nine of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. This ancestor carved the path for you and laid down the seeds for you to be where you are. They're the sort of person, or they're the person who made it so you could be where you are in life. The Chariot for me is almost like this ancestor is always guiding you, and it has always been, maybe through what your parents say about them, through idioms, through stories, through just, they have been in your life in more than the physical way in some sense. And they've shown you love. They've given you this connection that you may not have had with other people, and this understanding, this, you have the Nine of Wands and the Moon, this sort of character. It's almost like you're a reflection of your own ancestor, because I get this feeling that you're very warrior-like, and with the Nine of Wands there, it's the wounded warrior, and the Moon there can be almost like you and your ancestor went through the same sort of trials and tribulations, and it's made you both into the person you are, this sort of high-standing person who doesn't take any shit. I guess, has this person gotten from your ancestor? One more card. And we have the Six of Pentacles. They've taught you in some way of this, they had this legacy of caring, of balance, of figuring out how to give back to people and not just yourself, of being in equilibrium with the world and nature and yourself and all of these things that have passed down to you. The contentness of being with yourself, being one, being whole. This sort of, as I was saying, your ancestor is this free-spirited person who just didn't take any shit, and that's exactly who you are as well. And how do you continue this legacy? You don't have to try very hard. The Magician came out in reverse, and it may be so that in the past you've tried to establish a connection with your ancestors and it feels like you're grabbing at air. Maybe they haven't shown up to you in the ways that you want. But you have to understand that these spirits, whatever it may be, they may be, our ancestors are very understanding of what we need at the moment we need it. And it may be so that you don't need somebody to show up to you in a dream or something like that at the time you want it, because it'll freak you out. But to live through the legacy, you don't have to try very hard. You already are a living replica of your ancestor, basically. Let's get, how does this person continue the legacy of their ancestor? Queen of Swords and King of Swords in reverse. Wow, very powerful. Very scary. Very wow. So this, to me, sort of screams balance between your yin and yang. Your more dominant and more submissive side. Those two sides of yourself that are opposites need to come into balance for you to live through the legacy of this person. Because this ancestor wasn't somebody who was bound by extremes, extremes in the sense of they didn't live their life by just one way. They always try to find a way to incorporate the other part of themselves into their being. And that's one way you can venerate them, by being in balance and not letting your dominant side take over your submissive side. And I'm saying all of those words to try to and you have the strength to do it. Sorry, I was saying I'm all over the place. Strength came out, and it's all about taming that wilder side of yourself, that side that doesn't particularly believe that you can be in balance with everything in yourself, per se. But yeah, let's see what messages they have for you today. That'll be our last questions. Oh, Seven of Swords in reverse. Don't be your own worst enemy. Seven of Swords is almost, it's a card of self-sabotage. It's taking the easy way out of doing things we're not supposed to get the outcomes we want. And your ancestors are looking down at you and telling you, you gotta go through certain paths, certain things by the hard way. You can't take the easy way out. So maybe if you're going through a tough time and you just want to get better, it's an understanding that this road to healing will not be easy. It will take you more than just getting high every day. This is me speaking to myself. Oops. To sort of bypass it. In order to heal. The Knight of Cups came out in reverse, and that's kind of a card of, in reverse, it almost makes me think like you need to do a little bit more self-care, be a little bit more gentle with yourself. But in that same mindset, understand that you shouldn't be self-sabotaging yourself. Wow. You shouldn't be self-sabotaging by doing things the easy way. You can do things the hard way and be gentle with yourself. Those are two things that can exist in the same plane. Let's see what other messages they have for you. Two of Swords in reverse with the Eight of Pentacles. They're asking you to make a decision about what work you want to do and to get to it. You may have been putting yourself in this crossroads by thinking too much about certain things, but there's this message of a need to just get to work, to get things done, to look at what it is that you have to do, write it down, checklists, all of that Virgo shit, and get to it. Like, you can't be putting yourself in this situation where you're just further blocking your movements because you're not making any decisions to move forward. It's a message of do the things that you need to do to be on the path that you are on. But yeah, group number one, I hope that message resonated. I hope it brought some or shed some light into who this ancestor is for you. But yeah, thank you for listening, and I hope you have a great Thursday. Hi, group number two. If you picked the clear crystal quartz, this reading is for you. I'll be using the This My Heart Tarot to figure out all the details we can about your ancestor today. Today is the 1st of October, and it is my favorite month of the year. And we love to talk about our ancestors during this month because October 31st, Halloween, the day we connect to them. Duh. But anyways, the first question we have for your ancestors today is, who is present with us today? Who is in this reading for you? Who wants to send you a message to you today? Let's see who this ancestor is. Oh, wow. That was fast and a lot. Powerful. So we have Strength, the Fool, King of Cups, and the Hangman. This ancestor is, as I said in the beginning, very powerful, scary entity, being, whatever. This person, I get the feeling that when they were in this lifetime, somebody who was very sort of perspective. They took a lot of time to go within and think about things before they made actions, before they did anything in their life. But they always had this strength, this sort of energy about them that they could do anything they set their minds to. And they were very patient. Patient is the word I'm getting a lot too. This person was so understanding of others, of themselves, and loved animals particularly, I'm getting. They were always, maybe they had a lot of pets. Maybe they were always out in nature and like really just loved being outdoors and smelling the flowers, going fishing, yogaing, hiking, doing all of those things that older people love to do. Older people? Anyways. We had the Page of Wands come out in reverse. So this person wasn't very, as I said, they were very timid. They weren't very spontaneous. They did things at their own time, in their own will and volition. Eight of Pentacles in reverse. They were a very hard worker and took things, again, as I said, in their own time and volition. And they were always sort of working towards something in life, building up a legacy, building up some sort of mastery over themselves almost. We had the the Queen of Wands, the King of Swords, and the Two of Swords. So this ancestor had almost two different sides to them. There were somebody who was very kind of like stern and like businesslike and cold, but this other side of them was very free-spirited, fun, and people just loved them. And they kind of went back and forth with the Two of Swords there and couldn't quite find, or they did find a balance in these two situations, but they were two different people almost at times. But yeah, let's see what legacy this ancestor has left you with. What is the legacy of this ancestor? What legacy has this ancestor handed down? What is the legacy of this ancestor? Oh, wow. This is beautiful. The Page of Pentacles and the Hierophant. The Sun. That's amazing. This ancestor was very much a student in life. And when they were older, they became a teacher. It's almost like they were very happy to be living. They took everything seriously and they came down from whatever realm and they signed up to be on Earth for this experience, and they did everything it is that was expected of them and that they signed up for, and they were happy for it. And when they ended in their lifetime, they had done everything that they could possibly have imagined, and their wishes had been fulfilled, and they were just happy. And this is the legacy they leave you with, this legacy of fulfillment, of happiness, of contentment. You have the Nine of Cups, the Five of Pentacles in reverse, the Hermit, and the Justice. It's almost like this ancestor is here to remind you, or their life is here to remind you that you will get justice out of your situations. You won't always be in despair, disappointment, and grief. This isn't what it is meant to be for you, and it is not something that will become you. With the Hermit there, it's going to take a lot of going within to realize that you are very much like this ancestor of yours. You sign up for whatever it is that you're going through, but in the end you will get the justice you need out of it. How can you continue their legacy? Whoa. Seven of Cups in reverse and Three of Cups in reverse. Can I get one more? And the Chariot. It's all about taking action and not standing back and partying too much, like getting caught up with everything else in your life. They want you to take action in this life. They want you to rise above all of your mentality that things aren't happening for you, that you have nothing going on in your life. They want you to rise above that mentality and take charge of your life. Don't get caught up in the small victories either, but understand that there's always going to be a next thing that you're going to be dealing with, and it's always going to be more beautiful and better for you. But yeah, let's see what the messages we can get today. Eight of Cups, Nine of Cups. It's almost like if walking away from things in this life, walking away from certain situations and people will help you find this path easily, will help you get on your horse easily. Maybe there's certain things that you've been doing that you know you shouldn't be, and certain things that have been keeping you back that aren't fulfilling of who you are and don't add to who you are and don't serve you as a person. And the more you walk away from these things, the easier it will be for you to find peace and joy and love, because Ace of Cups came out. And the Three of Cups was in reverse. The Three of Swords was in reverse. So to find this place where you are out of this heartbreak, out of this sort of aching mess, you just gotta go for it and leave behind all of the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. All of the situations, all of the people, all of the ache, all of the drama, all of the ways of being. It's just those things that hold you back that you just have to say goodbye to. And when you do that, you'll find the love within that your ancestor found in their lifetime by going through the work, by doing the work. But yeah, what gifts have you inherited? Sorry, those are my roommates. The Knight of Swords and the Five of Swords. Wow. We had almost the same combination in the first reading. Or the same combination in the first reading. They've taught you how to be quick-witted, how to not give a single shit about what people think about you when it comes down to things. And maybe this is, I don't know if this is the best gift to be passed down, but I think it's a good one. This ancestor did not give a shit. This ancestor did whatever they wanted, and they were always like going after the next thing. And that's kind of what they've passed down to you. You're always going after the next thing and not really caring about what people say. You don't really go out after other people's opinions. You just do. And when people found out, they're like, whoa, 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 and you're like, yeah, well. We had Death come out in reverse with the Ace of Pentacles. So it's like the Death in reverse reminds me like you aren't willing to change. You're kind of very stubborn about these things, and you aren't willing to change the ways in which you get or find fulfillment and money and things of the material world in this life. Like, you're very stubborn about the way you do things, and this you got from your ancestor. This person was very stubborn, very, very stubborn. But the last question we have for today is, what message does this ancestors have for you? What message does this ancestor have for this person? Ooh, a lot of wands. So we have the Six of Wands in reverse, the Two of Wands, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Wands in reverse. It's almost like recently there has been something that didn't go your way, and you have to go back to the drawing board, and your ancestors are saying that this was the right thing. This happened for a reason, and you have to take things slowly, but don't give up on it. Just because it didn't happen for you right now doesn't mean that it's never going to happen for you. You have to take it more slowly. You have to go back to the drawing board, as I said, and really look at what it is that you have to do in order to have a victory in the situation. But don't give up on it. And it is something that, with the Three of Wands here in the bottom of the deck, it is something that's going to be fruitful for you. Something that you're going to be looking forward to in the future. But you shouldn't just give up on it because it didn't work out for you in the first time. But yeah, group number 2, I hope those messages resonated, and I hope this reading helped in one way or another. Thank you for listening. Hi, group number 3. If you picked the star Micca, this reading is for you. I'll be using the Brown Girl Tarot for this portion of the reading, and today we're going to be figuring out all that we can about your ancestor. The first question we have for today is, who is this ancestor present with us? We're going to be trying to figure out qualities about this person and everything that we can, and everything that tarot will let us know. But yeah, I'll be live shuffling, as you can hear and see. I won't be showing the cards, unfortunately, because my camera does not like to focus very much. But yeah, who is group number 3's ancestors present with us today? Queen of Wands. Ooh, King of Pentacles. Okay, so this ancestor was somebody who was very vibrant and very, was kind of a matriarch or patriarch of the family. They took care of everything, they took care of everyone, and were the ones who were looked up to in their families and their communities, and they just always had the answer for everything, it seemed like. The Hangman, they were somebody who had a lot of perspective. They went through a lot in life, and they were able to take the time to really look at everything and see things for what they were. They always were meditating on situations and kind of always trying to take a different perspective of things, trying to get a different view of everything. With the Ten of Wands, sorry, not the Ten of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles here, this person had a very great family life. They, as I said, were the patriarch, the matriarch of the family, and they were very happy in the situation that they were in. Everybody was living at home. There were happy family members, dogs, everybody just around them and always around them, and that to them felt great. Just having family members there surrounding them all the time was what they wanted in this life. Oh, I guess the Ten of Wands wanted to come out, and Ten of Wands, they took on a lot to be able to make this happen. They were always doing multiple tasks, doing multiple things for everyone, and this ancestor had to balance a lot with the Two of Wands there and the Nine of Swords in reverse, to the point where they couldn't take care of they had a lot of worries and anxieties about things, but they couldn't dwell on them because they had so many responsibilities, so many things to take care of, and so many paths and things to do. King of Swords, this ancestor had a very loud, I keep thinking loud and clear voice. This was someone whose opinions and whose matters and situations were heard. They weren't afraid of backing up from a situation, wherever that may be, for somebody else, because they wanted their truth to be heard, and that was what mattered to this ancestor. Oh, the Magician. So this ancestor was able to make things happen for them left and right. They just had so much energy and force within them that anything happened for them, and almost all of the kings came out for this ancestor, which makes me think like this person was very powerful, very, very powerful, and had the lessons of all of the elements under their belt. They probably had a very well balanced birth chart. It could take things on. We have the Nine of Wands, so wounded warrior. This person had to go through a lot to be the place where they were in life, and had to put up a lot of boundaries and had to put up with a lot in order to get the things and to get to where they were in life. And let's see, who is this ancestor? What else is this? And yeah, this ancestor was just a very powerful force death, maybe a Scorpio even. With death there, they just had this energy about them where people were just very intimidated. They couldn't even look them in the eye almost. Like, your ancestor was somebody to be reckoned with. But let's see what sort of legacies were handed down from this ancestor to you. We have the Six of Wands. This ancestor has taught you how to take your victories and how to move forward in life in the path that you want. They've shown you how to do the things that you want in this life and how to do them gracefully and how to do them and be in a place where people recognize you for it, where they're like, wow, look at this person doing all of these things, all of these great things for the community, for themselves. What are the legacies? Oh wow. Strength. This ancestor has given you the strength that they had. This person, as I keep saying, was so powerful and so just majestic being, and they've handed down the same sort of energy to you. The Star and the Seven of Pentacles, or the Eight of Pentacles. This ancestor has made you into the center of their universe, almost, or the center of this universe. And anything that you want, you give if you work towards it. This person knew how to heal, and they've taught you the same. They've handed out the same sort of lessons to you. You were the people who are healing the ancestor lines for you both, doing the work that needs to happen in order for these things to happen. What other legacies has this ancestor? Ace of Wands. This ancestor has given you passion in life. They've shown you what it is that you can do to make yourself feel fulfilled, what it is that you need to do to be on your path. They're giving you the passion, the creativity, the force behind in order to do the things it is that you want, and that's a beautiful thing to have. And how can you continue this legacy? How can you continue this legacy of this ancestor? Justice, by giving them justice, by doing things that your ancestors did, by continuing tradition, by venerating them. We had the Seven of Cups, by daydreaming and thinking about all the possibilities in life that you can do and doing them. How do you continue the legacy of this ancestor? How can you continue their legacy? We have the Three of Pentacles, by focusing in on community and realizing that you can build community and build community like they did. You have the Hierophant and the Page of Swords. These two cards, it's like your ancestor wants you to follow their path, but be your own person. Don't be too caught up in the ways that they did things, but but sort of follow their strength in their path. They want you to know that you can do whatever it is that you want, the same ways that they did whatever it is that they wanted. Two of Pentacles, it's all about balance, though. You just gotta balance everything well enough in order to have the things you want in this life. What gifts have you inherited from this ancestor? Let's see what gifts you've inherited from this ancestor. The World. Wow, that's beautiful. I don't even need more cards for that. Your ancestor has given you the world. They're giving you everything, every lesson, everything that they knew, everything that they felt, everything that they experienced. Now you do. And they've given you everything it is that you need in this life to experience it all and to really fulfill and be fulfilled. Your ancestors have given you the gift of life, and that's the most beautiful thing any of us can and will experience. Ace of Cups, they've given you the feeling of love. They're always there with you one way or another, and you can feel it. You know this, and you feel their love, and it's so beautiful. Nine of Cups and Three of Swords in reverse, or the Three of Swords. I'll take that. Nine of Cups and Three of Swords. It's like even through the heartbreaks, they're there with you, and they're trying to make you your happiest. They're trying to make you realize that both are parts of life. You have to be at points sad and at times happy, and both need to happen in order for you to experience this thing that is life. Let's see how you can honor these ancestors. How is it that group number 3 can honor their ancestors? Page of Wands. By being yourself, being spontaneous, by doing the creative passions, the creative endeavors you want. Three of Wands. By looking forward, building forward, and looking towards the future and being excited about it, and sort of manifesting what it is that you want out of this life and out of this situation. How can you honor your ancestors? Five of Swords, or Five of Pentacles. By seeking help when you need it. Five of Pentacles can talk about feeling disappointed, feeling left out in the cold and things like that. But it also talks about there being a sanctuary for us. And the way you can honor this ancestor is by finding sanctuary when you need it. Yeah. And the last question I have for you today is, what message does this ancestor have for us? For you, rather. I love this card, Six of Swords. This ancestor is with you right now through your transition. They're seeing you through this new phase in life. This phase, whatever may be going on, you're going through a transition, but they're with you always. And with the Seven of Swords here and the Six of Pentacles, they're just trying to remind you that you gotta be careful not to sabotage all of the progress you've made by being so giving to yourself and others. You can't let the things from the past hold you back from who you are. Because the past is just as much part of ourselves as the future. They're both parts of this bigger being that exists in this time and space. And your ancestors with the Wheel of Fortune here and the Three of Cups just want you to remind you that things come and go, but you just got to be happy within it all and realize that you are always going to be, they're always going to be there with you. They're always going to be here with you no matter what. And that it's easier to be content than it is to be disappointed in life. But yeah, group number 3, I hope this message has resonated and I hope they helped in some way. But thank you for listening.